It appears that Halle Berry is firmly on Team Kendrick, which shouldn't come as a surprise considering the complicated nature of her relationship with Drake. She is one of the few celebrities who has openly criticized Drake, calling him out for his odd behavior. This stance seems to have remained unchanged, especially as Drake has faced increasing scrutiny in recent months, particularly due to allegations regarding his creepy behavior. Much of this renewed attention can be attributed to Kendrick Lamar, whose comments have reignited discussions about Drake's past actions. Fans have unearthed some shocking details about the history between Drake and Berry, leading many to believe that he has been obsessively pursuing her for quite some time. This raises the question, is Drake secretly infatuated with Halle Berry? To understand this better, we need to look back at their history, which dates back a few years. At one point, Drake infamously used a photo of Halle as the cover art for one of his albums, despite her expressing her disapproval. For those who have followed Drake's career since his early days, it's evident that he had a significant crush on Halle Berry. He would often gush about her in interviews, practically melting with admiration. While it's natural to have a crush, Drake's behavior started to cross the line into creepiness. For instance, when Halle was pregnant, he made a comment lamenting that it was unfortunate she was unavailable, suggesting he would have pursued her if she were free. This fixation on Halle Berry was evident in his interviews, where he seemed unable to contain his admiration. Despite his infatuation, Halle was clearly not interested, and rather than accepting this rejection gracefully, Drake resorted to petty behavior, publicly shading her. This pattern is not new for Drake. He has a history of similar actions with other women, including Rihanna, Serena Williams, and Megan Thee Stallion. Initially, he showers these women with compliments and admiration in public. But when they turn him down, he quickly shifts to a more hostile attitude, often criticizing them and their partners. Drake has referenced Halle in several of his songs, including a notable line in the Migos Versace remix, where he talked about wanting to have a child with her in a way that many found unsettling. While other rappers have mentioned Halle Berry in their lyrics, usually in a flirty yet respectful manner, Drake's approach has been distinctly different. He has made bold claims about wanting to have a child with her, which many listeners find to be quite creepy. Despite Halle's indifference toward him for over a decade, one might expect Drake to take the hint and move on. However, that doesn't seem to be his style. His behavior escalated last year when he released a collaboration with SCA titled Slime You Out. The cover art featured a vintage photo of Halle Berry being slimed at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, which sparked outrage among fans. Many felt that this choice of imagery was inappropriate and disrespectful, especially considering the negative connotations associated with the Nickelodeon slime, which some believe symbolizes a form of humiliation. When the cover art was revealed, fans quickly criticized Drake, labeling him a weirdo and recalling his earlier, unsettling comments about wanting to have a baby with Halle. The backlash was not limited to fans. Halle herself expressed her anger through a cryptic Instagram post, suggesting that sometimes one must rise above the situation, even when faced with disrespect. Curious fans questioned Halle about her feelings regarding Drake's use of her image, to which she responded that he had not obtained her permission, stating, "That's not cool. I thought better of him." She further elaborated that when someone you admire lets you down, the best course of action is to be the bigger person and move on. However, the situation escalated as Drake's fans defended him, arguing that since the photo was sourced from Getty Images, he didn't need her permission to use it. Halle, however, was quick to clarify that her issue was not about the legality of the photo's use but rather the disrespect shown by Drake after he had previously asked for her consent and then ignored her refusal. This incident is particularly troubling given the context of Drake's past behavior. If this were an isolated incident and Drake had offered a sincere apology, perhaps the situation could have been resolved. Yet, Drake's history of disrespectful behavior towards women, especially those who have rejected him, paints a concerning picture. Drake has faced multiple allegations of inappropriate behavior, and while there may not be concrete evidence to support all claims, there is a growing consensus that he often fails to respect women's boundaries. His treatment of Rihanna is a prime example. He spent years obsessing over her, openly expressing his admiration, but when she made it clear that she was not interested, he turned hostile, even attacking her new relationships. In summary, Halle Berry's experience with Drake is a troubling reflection of his pattern of behavior toward women. Despite her clear disinterest and attempts to distance herself from him, Drake continues to engage in actions that many perceive as creepy and disrespectful. As the conversation around his behavior evolves, it remains to be seen whether he will ever learn to respect the boundaries set by the women he claims to admire.